Hi, this is Dr. Mercola, and you might be surprised to find out that nearly 500 million cups of coffee every day are consumed in America. And in fact, half of Americans, adults, consume coffee every day. And that's just really surprising to me because I don't drink coffee. I'm not trying to brag about it. I just don't like the taste. So wouldn't it be wise, if you're going to do something on a regular basis, to choose something that's going to move you towards health rather than disease? Now, coffee isn't necessarily that dangerous, but it should be avoided by certain groups, such as pregnant women. Clearly, they should not be having coffee or caffeine products. It's really similar to drinking alcohol. You really want to stay away from it during the pregnancy. But if you're going to choose something every day, you want to choose a healthy option. Choose something that's going to move you towards health. And tea certainly seems to make a lot more sense because especially if you're taking teas that are based on adaptogenic herbs, which will move your body towards really a healthy state. When you're choosing teas, you want to make sure that you avoid three primary types of tea. One, teas that are black teas because they tend to be oxidized. Teas that have fluoride in them because fluoride is a metabolic poison. And you want to really avoid teas that have caffeine because it's going to provide give you similar negative benefits as coffee. So it doesn't make sense if you're using it to have a healthier option to be taking a tea with caffeine in there. So there's a lot of different healthy teas. One of my particular favorites is Tulsi tea because it's an adaptogenic herb and it's the most common beverage that's used in India. And it's been used for centuries over there, and they use it for a variety of reasons because it tends to move your body towards health. Now the challenge when you're preparing tea, I want to go into some of the specifics on how you actually make it. You might also be surprised to find out that the most common reason people replace their teapots is that they leave them unattended on the burner and the water evaporates and it's ruined. And in the process it creates a fire threat. And depending on what the material in the pot is, it could actually generate really noxious fumes that could be harmful to you or your family. So it's the most common reason why people replace their teapot. So it would seem to make sense if you're going to replace your teapot or you're looking for a really good one to consider some really high-tech space-age type of material. And I want to show you this one that we actually came up with. It's made out of the same ceramic that our cookware is made out of. And it's an incredible material. You might have seen the video on this. You could actually pour molten aluminum at well over 2,000 degrees into this pot, pour the aluminum out, and then take this pot immediately while it was red hot, put it in a bucket of water, and this pot would not break. It's very difficult to destroy the exposure to heat. So clearly, if it's going to survive those types of circumstances, you could easily put this pot with no water on it on your stove, put the burner on full, and leave it there without any water for long periods of time so that it wouldn't cause any problems. I mean, it's not wise to do, but that would be the worst case scenario. So clearly, if you left it unattended and forgot about it, there's no risk to you or your family. So this particular pot has a nice little silicone type of grip so that the heat isn't transferred and you can pick it up easily and pour it that way. It doesn't have a whistle in it so that you wouldn't know that was happening. But there are some other components to making tea. One, of course, is that most of the teas are in tea bags, and that can be somewhat wasteful, but it can also be a challenge if the material in the tea bag has some toxic residues in it because sometimes the bags they use in the cloth are not high quality and they're contaminated with certain chemicals that you don't want in there. So ideally, to be most efficient and with the least health benefits, you'd want to use some type of infuser. A number of different infusers in the market, but we've actually put many years of research into finding what we think is one of the best infusers out there. And this is a large infuser for the teapot itself. It's actually made out of a very resistant nylon and titanium sheet, which is very inert, so that you would typically unscrew this, put the loose tea leaves in there, and then screw it back on, and then leave it in the pot, and make your tea that way. There's also a smaller one that you would use for an individual cup, individual servings. Now, if you're going to be using adaptogenic herbs for teas like Tulsi, what I like to do, and have been doing, we had the Tulsi tea bags, and so I would take the tea bag, break it open, and put it on a spoon and just consume it as an herbal supplement because after I brewed the tea. So if you're going to use that, and I would recommend it because then you get the full benefits of the adaptogenic herb. It's a lot easier to use the herb, put it in your hand or put it on a spoon or something and to consume it that way. But so that's another benefit of that. Now the other point you might want to consider just to be consistent with this is we put together these cups made of the same material, and obviously you're not going to be heating the cup, but sometimes if you're using plastics, of course, it may leach. And there's sort of a tangent here. When you're consuming coffee or tea, especially away at a restaurant, you don't want to use those polystyrene, those foam cups, because those are made of polystyrene. I can guarantee you, the moment you drink that tea or coffee from a polystyrene cup, we can draw your blood, and in a few minutes, we will find polystyrene molecules in your blood. So that it's really important to make sure that the material that you're using for the cup is high quality. It's not going to be transferring the contents of the cup into the tea, and this clearly is not. This the material, this space-age ceramic is really one of the most inert materials on the planet, and there's no harm or danger. And additionally, it has this infrared component. Now, this is the same thing that's with the cookware, so that it tends to keep the beverage warmer far longer. But another point too, you don't want to drink boiling hot tea. There's been some recent research that shows that could actually increase your risk for esophageal cancer. So don't drink hot tea, but it'll keep it warm for you so it's not room temperature, and you'll enjoy it that way, especially in the colder climates and when we go through winter. So hopefully this information is helpful. I really think this is one of the best, most high quality tea sets you could possibly have with respect to health benefits, and really giving you an option, practical tools, so that you don't have to rely, like half of the population, on consuming a beverage that's going to move you towards disease and not towards health. So hope you take that information and continue to use it to take control of your health.